Hello, welcome to my channel, Tell the World TV. If you are new in my channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button below. Today, we will talk about the synonyms and antonyms. What is synonym? When the two or more words have meanings that are very similar and are closely related, these are called synonyms. However, there is no such thing as absolute synonymy. Thus, no two words would have exactly the same meaning and can be used interchangeably at all times. Here are some words and their synonym. Affluent, rich, wealthy. Alleviate, lighten, lessen. Betray, deceive, fool. Blend, combine, mix. Blissful, merry, happy. Category, classification, type. Commemorate, honor, remember. Courteous, well-mannered, polite. Damp, wet, moist. Dare, challenge, defy. Deny, oppose, reject, refuse. Famished, starving, hungry, cravey. Freeze, glaciate, congeal. Generous, benevolent, kind. Gullible, naive, innocent. Gumption, initiative, sense. Antonyms, two words which are opposite in meaning. Absence, presence. Accept, refuse. Arrival, departure. Clear, vague. Conceal, reveal. Guilty, innocent. Successful students are different from average ones. What sets them apart? Good study habits. Intelligent students do not necessarily score higher during exams without good study habits, but average students with good study habits may. Studying is a skill. Thus, for students to be successful in school, study skills must be acquired. Studying should not be done only before exams or tests. Good study habits mean you are consistently reviewing your notes even with no upcoming tests. These help you prepare for when you have surprise tests or classroom discussions. Here are some tips to help you become successful students. 1. Plan. Set a study time each day. It is best to stick to a time of day when you feel most comfortable and relaxed. Identify also the subject matter you would like to study for a particular study time. Never study several subjects at the same time. 2. Stick to your plan. Never delay studying. Putting off the task to study because you think the subject matter is difficult will only lead to cramming. 3. Break. Studying requires concentration, but you might feel stressed with long periods of studying. Take a breather. Clear your mind. A refreshed mind can be more accepting of the subject at hand. 4. Start with the most difficult subject. Study first the difficult subjects. If you begin with the easiest subject, you might find yourself burdened with the idea that you have a difficult subject to study next. It would be better to start with the most difficult to the least difficult. 5. Call a friend or avoid friends during study time. This would depend on your learning attitude. If a study partner lets you remember what you have studied, then by all means, call a friend. Not only are you motivated to study, you also keep each other awake. But if friends would only keep you from concentrating, then do not bother calling them to keep you company during your study time. You are better off alone so you can concentrate on the task at hand. One very important skill that students have to acquire is vocabulary building. Having a large vocabulary means that one is more proficient in the use of the language. Words and thoughts always go together. Thus, when there is a thought you would like to express, you must have the right words that would carry out that thought. A better vocabulary can improve your thinking, speaking, and writing ability. Here are some tips to improve and build your vocabulary. 1. Read. The best way to encounter words is through reading. However, reading has to be paired with analysis of the words. If a word is unfamiliar, analyze how it is used in the sentence and find out what it means. Try reading nonfiction literature, newspapers, magazines, or editorials. 2. Search. General reference books such as dictionaries and thesaurus are abundant with important information about words. A pocket dictionary can be useful for quick reference to new words. A thesaurus can provide synonyms and antonyms of words. 3. Record. As you come across unfamiliar words, write down these words and their meanings. Always keep a small notebook or a diary handy for when you find new words. Also, try constructing sentences with the new words you have listed. Using the words makes it easier to remember. 4. Play. Language games are fun and at the same time educational. Games such as crossword puzzles, word search, word twist, bookworm, or Scrabble can help improve your vocabulary. 5. Apply. The best way to remember new words and their meanings is to use them at any given possible time. Grab any opportunity that utilizes language use, whether spoken or written. The more you use these new words, the better they will stick in your memory. One of the best ways of increasing one's vocabulary is to get into the habit of using a dictionary. More often than not, students encounter unfamiliar words when reading textbooks and listening to lecture. But it is sad to know that most dictionaries are not used. Students must know how to use it and get to know the parts of the dictionary. Note, not all dictionaries will contain all the dictionary parts enumerated in this book. Main entry. The words that are found in the dictionary are arranged in alphabetical order. These are called the main entries. These are organized into columns in one page. The main entry is, in most dictionaries, bold-faced. Spelling. The dictionary is also the best book which can give the correct spelling of a word. If the word has two possible spellings, the most common spelling is written first followed by the least common spelling. Syllabication. A word which contains at least two syllables is indicated with a syllabication on the pronunciation symbols. These are usually centered dots, spaces, or slashes which indicate divisions of syllables. Pronunciation. Different dictionaries may have different pronunciation symbols. These symbols are found right after the main entry. To be able to read the pronunciation of a word, check on the dictionary's pronunciation key or guide. Part of speech labels. Functions of words in a sentence such as nouns, adjectives, verbs, etc. are indicated right after the pronunciation symbols. These are usually given in abbreviated form. A word may have several part of speech labels that can indicate how it can be used in a sentence. Etymology. Some dictionaries give the and history of words. If the dictionary includes the etymology, this is usually placed before the definition and after the part of speech label and is placed inside brackets or parentheses. A word may have evolved from its origin. Thus, the etymology is organized in reverse chronological order. Definitions. The meaning of a word is written after the etymology and according to the part of speech label indicated. A word may have multiple meanings. These are usually signified with superscript numbers. Sometimes a sentence example is given to present the usage of the word. Usage labels. Language is always changing. Words that have been used 100 years ago may no longer be used in the present. Since most words in the dictionary are considered standard English, there is no need to indicate its usage label. Thus, some dictionaries include the usage label of words whose meanings are considered archaic, colloquial or informal, obsolete, non-standard, slang, or British. Examples. Let us now discuss words and word formation, prefixage, suffixes, and roots. Prefixage are affixes attached at the beginning of words. These indicate an additional or different meaning to the words which these are attached to. Adding prefixage to words is the most common way of forming a new word with a different meaning. These prefixage help in understanding the meaning of a given word. When attached, these would derive a word different from the original. Joining these prefixage to root words is also one way of expanding the vocabulary. Common prefixage, their meanings, their language origin, and some examples. Suffixes are affixes attached at the end of words. These usually denote a change in the meaning of the word and a derivation from one part of speech to another, i.e., from noun to verb. Another way of fully understanding the meaning of a word is to recognize and understand the suffixes attached at the end of the word. Suffixes are connected to words to come up with a different part of speech. Several suffixes may be attached to words. Suffix able, meaning fit for. Source Latin. Example agreeable, comfortable, imaginable. Another example. Suffix ac, az, meaning state or quality. Source Latin. Example advocacy, intricacy, accuracy, ecstasy. Roots carry the most and core meaning of the word that can convey description or thought. These can be affixed with prefixes and suffixes to give added meaning to the sense of the word. Root words have two types. Those which can be read as a word and can stand alone even without affixation are called free roots. The second type of root words is called bound roots. These are usually derived from Latin Greek languages. These cannot stand alone and need to be affixed with prefixes or suffixes. Free roots. Happy unhappiness, like likable, history historically, appear disappear. Mean meaningful, special specialization, fortune unfortunately, establish establishment. Govern government, question unquestionable, friend friendship, act interaction. Here are some examples of bound roots. Alt high altitude, altimeter alto, odd sound, here Latin, auditorium, audible, audiotape. Hem blood Greek, hemophilia, hematology, hemoglobin. I hope you learned from my video. If you are new in my channel, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button below. Thank you for watching. Let's us always remember, let us become a better person than yesterday. Mabuhay! To all my teams, supporters, students, and friends, please support my members. Estrella Byfield, Wandersy, Classmate Analu, Simpling Luto Eng Arms, Helen Vlog SG, Anganda Official, Mimi Geely, Awesome Roby, Morta M's channel, Bella Ruby Vlog, Elena Lario. To all my members, thank you very much. To all my teams, thank you very much.